Hi everybody, I'm here live at Seamless Middle East and North Africa 2022 as part of Seamless TV. And I'm here with Turki bin Zarah, the co-founder and COO of Tamara. Welcome to today's little conversation with me.
Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. And before we get started, can you, for those of our audience who are not from this region or nor Saudi Arabia, can you explain what Tamara is and what do you do exactly as well? You know, the company, you yourself as, co-founder and COO. Can you elaborate a bit?
Yeah, sure. So Tamara is the leading buy now, pay later platform in the region. Launched only 20 months ago, so we're a young company. However, we quickly became the leading player in this field. So what we do is we enable customers to buy what they love without charging any interest, and also to split their payments across installments.
And why did you create Tamara back in 2020 in Riyadh? What inspired you and the co-founders to do that?
So we saw a large gap in the market. So credit card penetration is among the lowest actually in Saudi globally, and as well as lack of options for microfinance, and we saw the adoption of cash on delivery, which is very unique to the region. And we also spoke with our customers who are the merchants and the shoppers, and we have seen a massive gap there, so we decided to launch.
Excellent, that's really insightful, Turki. And after you launched, you became the first fintech, correct me if I'm wrong, in Saudi Arabia to acquire a license with the sandbox, right?
Yes, so it was a permission to operate under the sandbox, so under the umbrella of the central bank. And this is one of the unique things that happened in the last few years. So the regulators in the region, they started adopting new ideas and new concepts and try to actually help startups launch within a regulated environment. So we were lucky to be one of the first players to acquire that permission.
And how was the process like? Was it easy? Was it challenging? I mean, can you summarize it in a way in terms of the process?
Yeah.
And how instrumental as well in terms of its rapid growth with you, with regards to this license? Can you elaborate a bit more?
So the process, at the idea stage, we actually approached the regulator. So very, very early on. And I believe that was a very smart decision to partner with the regulator while you are building the company. So the process was very smooth. So we shared the white paper on the concept, the business model, and then they invited us for a Q&A, and we submitted a few forms, and then we entered the sandbox.
So after you launched in Saudi Arabia and grew, you also expanded as well to Kuwait and the UAE, correct?
Yep.
Much of our audience is from Europe, from Asia, North America. Some of them might be kind of confused in terms of how could buy now, pay later, or BNPL, work in a place in the Gulf Cooperation Council, which is known pretty much as one of the wealthiest regions in the world. Can you kind of demystify that in terms of how does that potentially work for somewhere here?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you compare the median household income of the GCC and the region versus like countries in Europe or the US, you would see that it's actually very similar. So the problem is of the experience that the customers having to buy something online and split their payments is still there. So Tamara is not actually for a specific income individuals. It's for everybody. So we provide a better experience to buy online, whether you are from that segment or the other segment. So we are actually very comparable to these markets. And to add on top of that, we have very unique issues in the region that are not in developed markets. So cash and delivery, low credit card penetration, and very actually low access to credit cards because not easy to qualify, and lack of microfinance options that are available in these markets but not in the region. That gives us actually ability to grow even higher than other markets in this region.
And I absolutely agree with you. I'm also based in this region. I think I explained to you earlier, I've been to Saudi quite a few times.
Yeah.
I speak a little bit of Arabic. So I kind of also understand. Shukran. So I understand, in terms of these kind of challenges, but also similarities as to why buy now, pay later can work. That's absolutely brilliant. And my next question to you is, you made a lot of headway in the Middle East and North Africa, MENA region, fairly recent when you led, I think it was a record-breaking $110 million Series A funding round, right?
Yeah.
Led by Checkout.com. how, in a nutshell, would you be kind of using that funding route in regards to financing the payment solution of future growth? I mean, how you, as your company, been since then?
So that round was following our seed round by 6 months. So after 6 months of launching the company, we closed our Series A of 110. And since then, we've been very busy trying to perfect the product and the experience. And it's very tough because you are actually working with two customers. So you have the merchant and you have the consumer or the shopper, and both have very high expectations. So on the merchant side, they expect higher sales, bigger baskets, higher conversion, and a higher repeat rate. On the customer side, they expect a seamless, frictionless experience. So it's a lot of investment from our side to make it better. There is still a long way to go. We expanded into the rest of the GCC, and we're still expanding. And we're adding also other products in our portfolio.
I'm going to have to ask you the next question because you've probably been getting this recently. The Klarnas in the world, and the Afterpays in the world. There's been a bit of challenges recently with the I word, inflation, with the economic recession that people are projecting to happen or has already happened. Also coupled with that consequence, a growth of the likes of Klarna, for example, an increase of those that are not paying on time, right, in terms of their installments. How do you see yourselves trying to, nowhere is different. How do you see yourselves trying to hopefully avoid a situation such as what Klarna and the Afterpays in the world are kind of facing in the buy now, pay later ecosystem?
This is a very good question. Buy now, pay later has been a very hot topic in the last couple of years. And there are two types of players. There is a player that is growing at all costs, not really paying attention to risk and to treasury management and managing your funding. Because of the business model, we have to pay merchants up front, so we have to manage our money very well. And there are other players similar to Tamara, who actually, so we invested heavily in our risk algorithms, our risk engine, and our risk team.
Okay.
And we are not here to grow at all costs. We're here to build a sustainable business. So from the beginning, we paid attention to that in the good times, which is mid-2021 when everybody were like, having a party and thinking that this will go on forever. And now in these markets that you just mentioned, unit economics, profitability, default, and overall, margins, they matter a lot. It's no longer about growth, it's about sustainability and sustainable growth. And we doubled down on that after our Series A. Instead of just keeping on growing, we said no to so many projects that made sense back then to other people, but not to us.
Yeah, and it sounds like you kind of like mitigated your risk and tried to, it's never easy to plan for the future, but you could always mitigate it as much as you can. And the future question I have to ask you in terms of where do you see Tamara? Where do you see the future of that? Where do you have like a kind of product development roadmap you can share with us in terms of the future for the company?
So we see Tamara as the most beloved fintech company out there. For us, we grew up not having any affinity to the banks that we deal with, and Tamara is changing that. And we believe we will be a channel for customers to actually access for their day-to-day needs, whether in payment, shopping, and other related channels as well.
Excellent, Turkey. When I go to Saudi next, I will definitely download Tamara and I'll try to use it.
Please, and also in the UAE. So
oh yeah, true. I could do that as well too. So then after this, I will do that right away.
We'd love to have your feedback. Please.
Definitely, for sure. No, Turkey, thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for tuning in today at Seamless TV in Dubai 2022. Thank you so much.